Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you, my friends? Now, if you look at the title of today's talk, I even talk about doom and gloom, and where our country is going is kind of a scary place, in my opinion. But that's not the topic, is where we're headed. As far as doom and gloom, it's actually our financial future. And yesterday, I strategically planned yesterday being fun, going through a business article, a good exercise that I enjoy doing. Hitting highlights and just getting my opinion out about those highlights. But today, I saved because Kale in his Kale letter is giving away 30 days for the first of 2021, and he's actually dedicated 2 days of the 7, because I haven't seen the days yet, on the same topic because it's that important. Those of you who know me know that I am kind of the mentality that it's not really a meal unless there's meat involved. And of the meats that I eat, I would say it's primarily beef and chicken. I do like turkey, and then you can throw in an occasional fish every once in a while. I don't really just jump out there with a bunch of different things. But I would like to say that I'm going to use this depiction based on a way that someone had given it to me in regards to cooking a frog. So yeah, we're going there this morning. It's 9:30. We're talking about cooking frogs. You're welcome. If you're going to cook a frog, you don't throw it in a pot of hot water because it'll jump right out. You're welcome. If you go to cook a frog, what you're going to do is you're going to turn the water on slowly as the frog's already in the water, and the frog doesn't even realize that it's being cooked until it's too late and it's dead and cooked. That's what's going on in America right now, guys. We are frogs. Every one of us are frogs. We're all in the same big body of water, and the government is slowly turning the heat up. And we don't realize what's going on until it's going to be too late. We're being distracted by an election. We're being distracted by rioting. We're being distracted by all this stupid stuff that's going on around us, and we're not seeing what's right in front of us. The value of the American dollar is hitting the shitter. It is going to be when we had the fights in the grocery stores over toilet paper. The toilet paper will be worth more than $1. It'll be easier to go to an ATM and you get toilet paper than it will be to go to the grocery store to get toilet paper. And that's not a joke. I'm not exaggerating. And here's why. Kale did a recommendation of top 10 books for 2021, which I could go down those, but I'm not going to because I'd be wasting your time. I might post it here later. But one of the top book he wants us to read is by Jeff Booth. And Jeff Booth told us in his book, it took $185 trillion over 20 years in government debt to produce $46 trillion in GDP growth. Now let that sink in. It's over 4 times, almost 4.5 times is the loss. 185 trillion was spent in debt to gain 46 trillion. If I went to a financial advisor and those are the numbers they gave me, I'd turn around and leave. But this is our government. So obviously we're all in the process of either getting your stimulus or it's on the way, or you're trying to figure out where yours is at because everyone else is getting theirs. President-elect Biden says that one of the first things he's going to do, because now he has the House and the Senate and everything should go smoothly for 2 years for him, is he's going to give $2,000 stimulus per person. Is one of the first things he wants to do, and he's already said that's what's going to happen. They're projecting, no lie, they're projecting $5 trillion in just stimulus given to the American people. You're going to get paid more money than you've made in the last year or two to sit on your butt and play Xbox than you would be actually getting a job. So what would encourage you to go get a job? What would encourage anyone to want to have a job? What am I going to tell my daughter who's going to be a high school senior, other than the fact she's got an amazing work ethic and I don't need to pump her up for any reason? But what if she was lazy and she was out of the range in which I would get paid for? They're giving her the money directly now. Who am I to tell her, or how am I going to convince her that you need to get a job? $5 trillion. I mean, this bill's in the billions. We're talking. I mean, we're talking like every other month we're going to get $2,000 per person. I've got a family of 5, so you're telling me I'm going to get 10 grand, maybe 5 more times, 6 more times? That's $60,000 a year given to me tax free from the government. Who's paying for this? These are serious problems. And I'm going to go into some ways to fix it. And there's going to be an astronomical shift in wealth, in the global wealth, in the next 5 years. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to be in the lower class. They're eliminating the middle class. And it's obvious because there's 3 ways that we can take care of our debt. Let's go through those before I sound like I'm just totally preaching at you. The government can either stop spending money, which is going to cause all the stock markets to crash because everyone's going to freak out. So that's not going to happen. They can cut government programs, which is no Medicare, Medicaid, and other programs like that, which means we're not taking care of our elderly, and we're all going to revolt because, I mean, we all have hearts. You can't not take care of our elderly. They've been paying into this their whole lives. They deserve to be taken care of. They paid in under trust that it was going to be taken care of. So the government can't start cutting back on Medicare and Medicaid. So the third option, which is the only other one I see, is the government's going to start printing money like water, and the value of the dollar is going to go down. And that's the only way they're going to be able to pay for the debt that we're accumulating. So the value of the dollar is going down. They're giving away a bunch of money to a bunch of people and trying to encourage you to spend it on whatever. I mean, they don't care what it's on. Just spend it. Just give this injection into the economy, but they're going to give it as a $5 trillion injection across the board. So as you trade your time for money for a traditional job, your time is worth less and less. They may raise minimum wage, but I can go into the economical ramifications of that too. Let's say they raise minimum wage to $15 an hour, like they've been begging for. Look at all the jobs that are currently making $15 an hour right now. Entry level, just medical field, paramedics and nurses, assistants, and aides, and some economies, nurses. You're going to be making as much as someone who's flipping burgers at McDonald's. So now all of a sudden you're going to want more money. Everyone's going to want more and more and more. And the only way that that's going to be able to be paid for is if prices of everything else goes up. Yes, I'm very pro small business and entrepreneur, not just because I am one and I have one, but because I think that's what our freaking country was made on. But in reality, guys, we're so backed up in a corner that yes, inflation has gone up way faster than minimum wage has, and it's way harder than it used to be. But my beautiful wife and I were talking just a couple days ago about how much of a shit show America has become for the world. And the world's not that far behind. And don't get me wrong. There's a shit show going on everywhere. But we were like, almost at dinner table, we were like telling Sam, just pray about it and be ready when you're ready to bring a child in this world, because this world is going to hell in a handbasket. And it's scary and it's sad what we're bringing our kids into. And then after prayer and reflection the next day, these Bible verses started popping up on Lynette's feed, and she really started praying more about it. And God knew what we were in for when we were born for our whole lives. He knew this was going to happen. He knows when your kids are going to have kids, what's going to be in line for them. So don't be fearful. This isn't the end of the world. God's still in control. He knows what's going to happen. But arm yourself with the knowledge and a game plan on how to get out of it. And what I mean by that is invest your money in finite resources. Now, Kel gives 4. I'm going to add 1. I agree that the number one thing that you should invest in is your own business, because it's a residual income. It's something that the business itself has a separate, an EIN number, which is like a business social, that grows with its value. Literally, when I bought ScarletArrow.com, I paid, I think, $10 for it. And well, let's just do an exercise. Let's see what it says it's worth now. But anyway, I can keep talking while I'm looking. So get your own business. The next thing is, I probably can't do 2 things at once. I'm sorry. Sorry, I lied. I'm sorry. I'm hurrying. Come on, internet. It's worth $915. So I took it from $10 to now it's worth $900, estimated value of $915. I bought SamanthaKFaber.com for $10, and now its estimated value is $294. So that's a pretty good return on investment there. Anyway, all right, focus back. All right, so 5 things invest your money in. Create a business. Invest in a business. It will become more valuable than your social security number will, I promise. Buy land. Land is a finite resource that every time a baby is born, becomes supply and demand automatically tells you is more and more valuable. Be careful where you buy it, because you don't want the government claiming eminent domain and taking it out from underneath of you. But buy land. McDonald's is one of the wealthiest companies in the world, not because they can make burgers at a cheap price and sell them to you at a cheap price and make the world morbidly obese, but because they own land on every street corner that is known to man that's worth more money than their restaurants are. They can tear down the buildings and sell the land for more than the building on the land is worth. So your business, your land, Bitcoin. I did this exercise earlier today. In September, for my birthday, I bought myself $80 worth of Bitcoin on Cash App. That today, this has been just around 4 months ago, because September's my birthday. My $80 is now worth $356.61. I wish I thought higher of myself than $80. I wish I thought that I was worth more than $80 and I put $1,000 in there. Because imagine what I could literally cash it in and go buy myself a car right now. If you don't know much about Bitcoin, yes, it's a digital currency that makes traditionalists like myself hard to get. I was hard-headed for the first time I heard about it. That is dumb. Why would I give you a bunch of money for something I can't see, feel, or touch? But whether you like it or not, that is the way this world is going. There will be digital money. You can't stop it. You don't have to accept it, but that's the way things are going. So you can either not grab a hold of some and be broke, or you can watch. Oh, look, it just went up. It's now $357.76. I just made $1 talking to you. My $80 is now worth almost $360. The world's changing. You have to adapt with the world. The next 2 are world. These are not secrets. The world's been telling us since our great grandparents were around. Gold and silver are finite resources. They used to be the backbone of trade for commerce. The dollar used to be backed by it until they started inflating the dollar and they couldn't keep up. But there's only a finite amount of silver in the world and a finite amount of gold in the world, and that is something you can buy, feel, see, and touch. There's a story of a guy that bought a crap ton of silver, and it was all into one thing. It was just a big old rock, and he spray painted it black, and he put it as a doorstop in his house, and he got robbed. And they took jewelry and they took paintings and everything. If you got enough money to have a couple pound rock of silver spray painted in your floor. You got some stuff. But they left the silver because they didn't know what it was. The paint will melt away. They're going to melt that thing down. But gold and silver isn't going anywhere. The value is going to go up because I love watching Gold Rush. If you don't like watching that, Parker, I like watching Tony Beats because he's from the same province my grandparents immigrated from. And so I love listening to him talk. It reminds me of them since they passed. But they're looking at going out of the Yukon and going to Australia because they're running out of gold in the Yukon. The world's gold supply is going to be coming to an end. I don't know when. I don't know where the next pocket may be found, but it's in limited supply. So I am going to have talks with family. I do want my friends, I want you guys to know that is the world coming to an end? Every day I think the world's coming to an end. We're one step closer. I don't want to think about having to invest in stuff. I want Jesus to come now and take me and my family and my kids out of this sinful world, and I don't have to think about it anymore. I would love to go play in heaven with my kids and not think about anything else. But unfortunately, that's not happening in the next couple seconds. I don't know the day or the time, and neither does anyone else. But I can tell you that the writing's been on the wall for some time. We are going through a financial shift. The financial powers in the global economy is changing right before us. And as we start getting these trillions of dollars handed out to the people in 2021, it's already been said this is going to happen. And now there's the House and the Senate are Democratic, just like the presidency. For the next 2 years, there's going to be nothing stopping bills from getting passed to hand free money to the American people. What are you going to do with that money? You know what my suggestion is. I love you. I want you to do nothing but flourish. I'm investing in my business every single day. I want to grow the value of my business so that I can sell it and then start over and build another business and put that money into other things. I want to diversify. I want to have land. I mean, if you're going to go buy land, I wouldn't buy it in the middle of the city. I would probably, depending on what you can afford, I'd find a lakefront. I'd find an ocean front, find something that is even more finite than just land. Heck, I've got my eye on some mountain property in Montana. My brother-in-law and I had talked about. I would love to own 40 acres in Montana that no one can get to except for me. With a raging river I can go fishing on whenever I want. I'd love it. But you got to find out what's best for you. But when you make those decisions, make them smart. Make it something that the value is only going to increase as you own it. So, guys, have a great Friday. I hope this wasn't too doom and gloom. If you didn't watch the whole thing, go back and watch it. It's passion from me to you. I love every one of you. I want nothing but success for you in the year going forward. But seriously, the world is changing right before our eyes, and now is the time to act from a financial perspective. If you can't do more than $80, don't do more than $80. But literally on Cash App, $80 in September is $357.78 today. Oh, it just dropped. Now it's not. It's still above 350, but it dropped $20. Oh, it's back up again. It's being bought and sold all day long, guys. But I'll take a few dollars drop in a couple seconds, knowing that it was $80 4 months ago. God loves you, so do I. Have a great day. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. If you see me in the meantime, come up and say hi. Have a great day.